combustion bending. It's one of like the most powerful sub bendings in the show. It needed an immense amount of training and it was usually simplified by a third eye tattoo on the forehead. So now, okay, I read some story where like it was saying that it was combustion bending was discovered a long time before the show, whereby certain firebenders were chained to like huge metal balls and thrown underwater, and then the surface of the water was like frozen, I guess by the water benders. So now they had to focus their fire bending because their hands and feet were chained. So on it was actually a very, most of them didn't survive, and then those who survived were actually the first to actually master combustion bending because it needed them to focus on their target. And if something, okay, they needed to be like very focused, so they had to be very focused and have a lot of energy to be able to do that. And so I guess you can judge, let's say 100 were put there, like 30 would survive, I guess, best case scenario. So now there's lightning redirection. Discovered by Uncle Iro when he was studying water benders. It He studied them and realized that the water benders were more defensive and less of attackers, the exact opposite of the firebenders. That was just a POV. So now, okay, so he basically learns that they use their enemy's energy against them. So I fire at you this energy and then you just get it in and release it the same way. So now he studied that and perfected a new technique which later on got to be known as lightning redirection. Now the next sub bendings are going to be for water. So water actually has some nice sub bendings. Like there's the ability for them to like control the water in plants. So it that was actually mostly portrayed by the Bogota tribe. Okay, this is basically a tribe which lives on like some swamp with a certain tree. So the members of that tribe learned how to control the water within the plants. So that's a sub bending of water bending. Then there's blood bending, the ability to control a living creature against its will using the blood in it. Because you know how blood is mainly composed of like water. So they would do that. So now, okay, now next is earth bending. So earth bending is actually quite powerful. So now earth bending has like this common sub bending. It's common, metal bending. It was actually discovered by a member of Team Avatar during the course of the show. That was tough. So when she was like locked in some metal cage, trying to be taken back to her parents after she ran away from them, she noticed that there were certain particles of earth and she could use them. And so she basically learned how to like control the earth particles in the metal because to her it was just a refined piece of earth. Yeah. So then there is lava bending. So the first people to actually be able to possess lava bending were mostly the avatars. So I thought it was just gonna be like an avatar thing whereby they mix like earth bending and fire bending. But it turned out that it was just molten rock. So it's basically just melted rock. So meaning all earth benders at a certain rank can use that sub bending. Then there's like this size mixing sort of thing. Uh Toph used it all her life because every second of her life she has been using it. So I rank her the most powerful. Ang used it in his final battle. It's actually quite useful because it allows the user to be able to see the environment using vibrations rather than directly using their eyes. There's the Bajamos, of course, who are the first to use that technique. They were also the first earthbenders, by the way. And so the Bajamos actually taught Toph that because Toph used to be just some little blind girl And so Toph can actually now see with her feet rather than her eyes. Like when she steps down and she picks up some vibration, she can see her whole image. It also allows her to be able to tell when someone is lying, because when certain people are lying, like there's that quiver they have in their body, what if I get discovered and stuff. So she detects that extra shiver and she can know you're lying or not. Okay, now there's airbending. So airbending, I'm going to tell you what I know. Like there's float. It's like when the airbender has basically connected to the air, they can actually be able to control the air around them and uplift themselves in a sort of like flying manner. Then there is also spiritual projection. I'm not sure if that one is for like only avatar for only airbenders. If it is, then it's actually a very important one. It's like the ability of like the airbender to move their spirit from their body, and it needs immense focus, meditation, and silence. And then for the avatar, there's spirit bending, the ability for them to bend like their spirit or spirit of another person. Yeah, that's all.